Hello everyone, welcome to the presentation for our project Interface for Linux Virtual Lab. Our team number is 23. What's the problem description that was given to us? We had to create a virtual lab for Linux where students or users can learn and practice Linux commands. The expectation is that the user does not have a Linux system with him or her, and the lab will give some tutorial and then also provide an interface where the student can try out those commands. So as mentioned, the virtual lab will contain tutorials and also an interface for executing those commands. There will be a quiz section through which students can evaluate their progress, and they can also get an idea if they understood the concepts clearly. The lab will also have a further reading section where students can go to and have a detailed idea about the topic. So what's the solution approach that we have used? There are various web pages for different experiments, and some of those are introduction, aim, quiz, and simulation, and so on. User will also have an option of receiving the results of the quiz via mail, and the email ID will have to be provided before starting the quiz. This is the basic structure of the lab, the whole website, and we'll cover this in detail in the demonstration. Continuing with the solution approach for each of the file. So the files like introduction, theory, simulation, these files will be common across all the experiments, and it will only have a basic layout in the HTML file. For the different experiments, we will have different JSON files where the data will be stored, and the data is loaded into the HTML files, into the respective HTML files accordingly, with the help of JavaScript and jQuery. We plan to cover the following commands, which are mentioned over here, and we might add more. Yeah. Regarding the technologies that we have used, mainly we have used HTML and CSS for the website. Bootstrap is used for making the web pages responsive, and JSON is used for storing the data, and the data is loaded into the web pages using JavaScript and jQuery. And we also use JavaScript for making some other dynamic things in the website. Moving on to the demonstration part. So this is the homepage of the lab, which has various sections for introduction, objective, list of experiments, and so on. And the main part is the list of experiments. And let's see that. So this has various experiments. For example, this is for the translate command. Let's see what's in there. So these are the various sections which are common across all the various commands. So another command will also have the same sections. So theory part. This gives a brief introduction about the command, what it does, and the general syntax and the flags or the options that can be used with this command. And the simulation contains various solved examples based on the command that is mentioned. And let's see one of those. Let's say this is one solved example which is given. So yeah, and this is another, and so on. And there is a quiz section which is mainly MCQ based, and we can select an answer and check if it's correct. The correct answer is highlighted in green. So here this is the wrong option and this is the correct one. Yeah, and we can also see some other experiment. This is for the cut command, and here the theory contains a brief introduction and the various flags. And here we have also covered some basic examples which would give an understanding about these options that are used, the B, C, and F option with the cut command. So yeah, that's about the basic examples. And the same with simulation and quiz. Simulation would contain another set of examples, and the quiz will contain the MCQs. Moving back to the presentation. Yeah. So for the work distribution, before deciding the content that we will put, we decided on the layout of the various files, introduction, quiz, and simulation, and so on. And the JSON format was also finalized before starting out everything. So these things were done by all three of us. And once this basic structure was built, we started distributing the work among us equally. So let's say all three of us are working on the content of different commands right now, and the work is divided equally, and it can also be seen on the Git repo, and the commits can be seen. Yeah. For the further timeline, uh, we plan to provide an input email, so where the user can give an email and the result of the quiz will be sent to that email ID afterwards. And we also plan to select a random set of questions in the quiz, and also will be collaborating with the Linux container team, where the user will be able to uh, try out those commands himself. Yeah. For the references part, we started out with a code base of Data Structures Lab to Virtual Lab, and then we started making changes in there and adapted it as per our own needs. Yes. That's it. Thank you.